do in band class, we would go up a scale and then down, but we'd play that top note just once. So it would sound like this. Now, I might be going a little fast here, but it's on YouTube, so you can just hit the space bar and pause the video. So I'm not really putting any like time in this video to where I'm not playing that you could practice, because you can just pause this video at any time and do what you need to do, and then just resume the video when you're ready. So that's why I'm going kind of fast through this. Boom, boom, boom. So again, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. One other thing I wanted to mention, since we're going over scales, is that some scales have sharps in them, some have flats. This one didn't have any. This was all natural notes. Scales with sharps in them and key signatures with sharps are typically guitar friendly because it's easy to play those chords on guitar. Scales and key signatures with flats cause the guitarist to kind of have to contort his or her hand in the weird shapes. And so scales with flats aren't typically used a lot, at least not in rock music. One way that bands will get around this is to take the guitar and bass and tune them down a half step. So if you're playing a key with lots of sharps, like A, this has 3 sharps, you tune all the instruments down, now it sounds like A flat, which has 4 flats. But we're going to go over all the scales because I think it's important for you to learn them. Plus, you never know what key I'm going to write in, right? So I might say, hey, this song's in D flat, you better know D flat. D as in dog, flat. And so we'll cover it. Well, not today though. Today we're just going over the scales C, G, and F. So we just covered C again. Once you learn it, you can kind of speed it up a bit. Or go, in sequences like. And I'm going to show you how to play bits of a few songs and the keys that I'm showing you. So right now we covered the key of C, C major scale. Next we're going to do G and F, which are the keys of G and F. And I'll talk about some songs that are in those keys, so you're not like, when am I ever going to use this scale? Who uses this scale? Well, I can tell you who uses these scales. But we'll do that after I cover what notes are in these 3 scales. So that was C. Next we're going to learn G, and I'm going to take a water break because I'm getting dehydrated. All up in here. There we go. Alright. All good bass players have hit the bottle. Alright. Next, G is in giraffe. So before we hit C on the 3rd string, 3rd fret, we're going to go 3rd string, 2nd, 4th string. So let me back up and talk about the numbering system. So your G string is 1, D as in dog is 2, A as in aardvark 3, E as in elephant 4, and B as in bird 5. So we'll actually be on the 4th string, 3rd fret. So it's the same fret, same finger. We're using our ring finger, but we're moving it over a string. So that's G. Before we were on C as in cat. Now we're on G as in giraffe. Not this G, but this G. Alright. So G is in giraffe. Next note, A is in aardvark, which is the A string, that middle string open. Next note, B is in bird, which we're using our middle finger to play the 2nd fret. Let's go over those 3 notes now. G, A, B. G is in giraffe, A is in aardvark, B is in bird. Next note, C is in cat, which you learned in the previous scale. And then the next note, D is in dog, which you also learned in the previous scale. Just a D string open. Let's go over those 5 notes again. G, A, B, C, D. G is in giraffe, A is in aardvark, B is in bird, C is in cat, D is in dog. Actually, that reminds me, there's a tune, I think it's Bach, where it goes D, 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 D. It's minuet in G. Anyway, I digress. Alright, we have a few more notes to learn in the scale. So we have E as in elephant, which you learned in the previous video. Here's a new note, F sharp. So before in our C scale we had F natural. That was, as you may recall, the D string on the 3rd fret with our ring finger. But instead we're going to go over a fret and use our pinky. Same string, D string, use our pinky. That's F sharp. Now you learned your first sharp, F sharp. And then G, you learned before, that's G string open. Alright, so let's go over this. G is in giraffe, A is in aardvark, B is in bird, C is in cat, D is in dog, E is in elephant, F sharp as in ferret sharp, G is in giraffe. Alright, without me saying the names. Down scale. Up and then down the scale using that top note just once. And then you can add speed to play a little faster if you want. Now you might notice that that scale was the same fingering sequence that we used with our C scale, except we had a G string. So last time we did that slide, that pinky slide on the C scale. So you might be thinking, well, can I do that on the G scale? And yes, you can. So this note here, it's the same as the G string open. It's G, so you can play it on the 5th fret of the D string or the open G string. But since we're using first position in the 1 finger per fret rule and not sliding our hand around, you should probably just play it on the G string open. We couldn't do that on the C scale because there's no C scale C string above the G. G's the highest string we got. So we can do it on the G string. Then go up to the G. So that's G. So now we can review our 2 scales, C and G. G. We got one more, and then I'll start to teach you parts of songs. So the next one's F as in ferret. So the first note is F because it's an F major scale, and that's on your E as an elephant string, but it's going to be on the 1st fret. So we're using our index finger. Next note is G. We learned that in the previous scale. That's on the E as an elephant string, but it's at the 3rd fret, so we're using our ring finger. So F, G. Next one is A, which is on the A as an aardvark string. We can play it open. Put those 3 together. F, G, A. Next note, here's our first flat you're going to learn. B flat. It's on the A string, 1st fret, so we're using our index finger. Let's go over those first 4 notes. F, G, A, B flat. Next note is C as in cat. So that was B as in bird, flat and bird, I don't know, roadkill. And then C as in cat. It's at the 3rd fret of the A string. So A, B flat, and C are all on the same string. So now let's go over those first 5 notes. We have F as in ferret, G as in giraffe, A as in aardvark, B as in B flat, B as in bird flat, C as in cat. Or index finger, ring finger, open, index, ring. Next, okay, now I got the next 3 notes. So next 3 notes you already know from the C scale. It's D as in dog on a D string open. E as in elephant, which is the middle finger at the 2nd fret. And then the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the D string, F as in ferret. So, start. And down. My bad. Yeah, maybe I should actually watch what I'm doing. So, F as in ferret, G as in giraffe, A as in aardvark, B as in bird flat, or flattened bird, C as in cat, D as in dog, E as in elephant, F as in ferret. And maybe you can remember the 4th and 5th notes of the string. We have a flattened bird and a cat. And the cat is interested in the flattened bird. That's why it's next to the. That's why I said why it's the next note in the sequence, maybe. So F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, E, D, C, B flat, A, G, F. So now we've gone over our scales. Let's go over one last time, then I'll teach you some song bits. C, so this is our, I'm sorry, it helps if I actually play a C when I say C. C scale, no